Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of A Look Beyond the Continent. My name is Emil, and together with my co host Ezra's, today we are talking about the brand new cards that just got revealed during the World Masters on the weekend. You may or may not have seen the dev stream where they did reveal 12 brand new cards. Super excited about these cards because each one seems to be, I don't know, just really powerful cards. So really excited. Ezra, what do you think about these cards? And yeah, before we get into it, let me know what your initial thoughts are.
Yeah, I'm just as excited as you are. We finally got some new cards, even though like what a month or two ago that we got the last expansion. Um, a lot of these cards are returning cards, from what I've been told. By the players who have been since beta. Um, these cards were in the game, but they did completely different effects than what they are doing now. Especially Radovid, and I believe the Ceres card was also in the game at one point during beta, and obviously we got the version of Ceres that we've already seen. Um, a lot of these cards do seem like they're going to be crazy. They're all legendaries, which is pretty scary. Like none of them are going to be, oh, okay, nobody's going to want to play that card. Like, all these cards probably will see play.
Definitely think so. I think when the patch comes out, I think it's later today for me, or tomorrow morning for you. I think a lot of people are going to be spending a lot of time in the deck builder. So let's get straight into the cards. The first one we have is Ceres Fearless. She's a human and a warrior, 10 provision cost, 4 power. Okay, so after you've dealt damage to allied units 9 times, summon self from your deck to your range row. Zeal and Order. Fully heal an allied unit and damage another allied unit by the amount healed. Ooh, okay, cooldown 1. That was just a lot to say. The first thing I also thought of when these cards came out, I was like, there's a lot to the cards. Like, there's not just, one kind of thing that they do. It's like pretty much a whole paragraph of things that they are doing. And it's very unique to that card in particular. Like, there's no other card in the game that does what they do. Let's get into Ceres. What kind of archetype are we going to see her do? Be placed in. Looks like it's going to be, the self wound kind of warriors deck. What do you think? You're a big SK fan. Would you be playing Ceres?
Yeah, because I mean, she is basically like a engine, a heal engine, I guess, plus a deck then. Um, and has synergies with self build. So like I could see somebody like playing it like almost like a very expensive roach. uh, you know, it, yeah, it does have a condition of being you have to deal damage to allied units 9 times, but it's good thinning. It's a thin by one, and we know SK has a very you know easy time of thinning the cards out of their deck. So like this is just adds another card tempo with.
You know
Um,
what? You know which card also reminds me of? Hubert. How after he's got the counter of 10. So each time you click order, he summons
yeah,
himself. Yeah, this reminds me of that a little bit. Um,
just better, just
yeah.
better.
So you know what I'm trying to think though. So I think I need to see it in place. So you know how she summons herself from your deck to the range room, right? So after, I'm assuming she's gonna have like a 10 or 9 counter on her to begin with in the deck, right? So she's a potential brick as well. Like maybe you wouldn't want to have her in your hand either. Like you'd want her to be kind of,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so you'd want to summon her. But you know how it says here fully, it's got an auto ability, right? So when it comes to dealing damage to allied units, sometimes it happens at turn end. It's not necessarily something that happens during your turn. You know how you can you can click and damage your own unit, right? But then sometimes it's like a passive end of the turn thing. So that means if it's like a passive one at the end of 9, does that mean she will summon herself at the end of that turn because it's happened 9 times? Because then
I think she comes out right away in the Hubert. The Hubert doesn't wait till the end of it.
no,
I think
okay,
the
yeah.
moment
Yeah,
I
so
think the moment you've dealt damage 9 times, she's coming
yeah.
out.
Okay, so say like I'm trying to think of that card. Like you know how at the end of your turn it's like the priest, right? At the end of your turn he damages the unit to the right by 1 and boosts himself by 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just giving you an example, okay?
Mhm.
And that happens at the end of your turn. So during your turn nothing happens, right? So say if it was like you did that that was your 9th time you've damaged an allied unit. It was at the end of the turn. Does that mean she summons herself at that moment? And that means you can't click her because you've ended your turn.
That is, yeah, I guess, like, yeah, I could see that.
In
Um,
warriors though, you could like warriors you have to click things for it to
yeah,
actually self damage. But I'm just
I
thinking
don't
like
know, yeah. I'm
what
pretty
happens
sure
if
it
it's
works like
the
that.
what happens if it's the end of your turn if she comes out, because then that gives the opportunity for your opponent to remove her.
Correct. Yeah, I think, okay, so in that sequencing, yeah. Okay, maybe Priest is probably not the best card to run with this.
Yeah.
I think you want to run stuff that is going to self damage. And what I also that is a good point that you brought up. For cards that do kind of rely at the end of turn for damage. I wonder if that also affects like berserkers. I wonder, do berserkers count as dealing damage,
Yeah, because they
or
damage
is it they're just taking
themselves.
it? That's what I'm
They
saying. Yeah, like, it says after you've dealt damage. So it's almost like saying, okay, you have to inflict the damage, not the cards themselves.
Yeah, see, I don't know how that's gonna work. Because
Yeah.
again, the berserker is end of your turn. So that's what I'm saying. If the counter is at 9 by then, she'll come out and then you won't be able to click it. Like even though she's zeal, you won't be able to click it until the start of your next turn.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I guess it's just we just have to wait and see into what we can do, because like in terms of like sequencing how you want to set it up, so when you want her to come back, yeah, it has to be something where like for a fact you can inflict damage. Right then. But we already know that Earthsign Ritual inflicts damage 5 times,
Mm-hmm.
so like that's only 4. That's 4 counters right there gone,
Yeah.
or 5 counters gone really. So that means you only have 4 left. So like after that, like it's not that hard to do that, and then you got Blackheart Hunters, then you got the self boat, the self damage boats. What else do you have? I guess you have Croc. Like Croc does self damage as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cards that can work with this. Um, but what's really interesting is about this heal value that I really like. It's fully healing something. So like uh, Bear Witchers. What else would you say? Great swords. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's huge. You
Mm-hmm.
can play a great sword right away as long as this card's already on the board and heal it up right away.
But it says
I mean,
damage another allied unit by the amount healed. So what unit? Because I don't really play the self damage. So what unit
well,
would want to be damaged?
you could do it on the Tursock veterans, the 8-point cards.
Yeah, okay, the ones
Um,
that heal themselves
yeah,
back up. Yeah.
yeah. You can do it on Olaf. Olaf likes to be self damage. It wants to be down to pretty much 1 HP or 1 base power for it to get up to 19 points.
What about the what
Uh,
about that Draco turtle?
yeah, Draco Turtle too. You want to do it as well. That's really good as well.
Cool. Nice.
I would say also, even what's really nice too about this card is it has a lot of great synergy, even with I guess maybe even um well no, I was gonna say it would have good synergy with Blue White Lugos, but that's not correct because it's inflicting damage all at once, not one at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think like at most it could probably be playing for 4. Then the heal value, like the heal value is subjective to whatever that could be.
And it's
But
good for thinning as well.
yeah, like I think it's gonna play for its provision cost, more
Yeah.
or less. Yeah, or a little bit, depending on how much heal value.
Side note as well, I loved the premium artwork on this. Obviously, we just have a still screenshot here, so When the cards do drop, go check this one out. I particularly love this one. I just thought it was stunning.
Like, I'll probably make this premium right away.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
this one, or it's gonna be
Regis.
Regis. Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the next card? Do you have any other thoughts on this one?
No, I mean, I think it's a good, a good addition to Warriors. Warriors definitely need some new cards. The last impactful additions they got was Iced. Like, yeah, like that. That's been a long time.
That sounds like a long time because I don't even remember when Ice came out.
Yeah, like I mean, we got Fomar, we got like a lot of alchemy. It's been a while since we've seen Warrior based.
Nice. All right, let's move on to the next one. We have Cyrus Engelkind Hemmelfart.
Mr. Himmelfarts.
Fire Swans. Profit 4, deploy Spawn and play Congregation. Feed 2, destroy an allied Fire Swan token, and summon a bronze Fire Swan unit from your graveyard to the same position. Cooldown 1. So he's 3 power, 1 armor, 12 provision cost. I think you'll be able to make more of a comment on this because I've never actually played Fire Swan before. But yeah, talk us through what are your thoughts on this card?
This card is nuts. It's busted.
Do you feel like a lot of these? I mean, we haven't gone through all of them yet, but do you feel like a lot of the cards that came out on Sunday? I think it was Sunday for me on Monday. Yeah, it was. I felt like half of them were like kind of busted. I was like, oh, these are like Ficusius.
Yeah. Like like I said, they're all legendaries. Like there can be no epics in this drop, and a lot of them are meaningful characters in stories of the games, or books. But like this guy, holy crap! Him being 4, so we're basically going to count him as a 4 because of his. So he's profiting 8, so he's already 8 for 12 on that, just on that alone. And then spawn and play Congregation. So that's another 6, right? 2, 4, 6. Yeah, 14. Well, I mean, okay, well, we'll say he's at 13 right now. So he's 13 for 12, right? If we're not counting the armor. And then fee to destroy an allied for fire sword tokens. Like, even if you say that fire sword is damaged, and it's only 1 time that you're really losing out on. But you're getting a bronze fire sword unit from your graveyard. And most of the time, you're going to want to bring back a Fallen Knight. Like, this guy is nuts.
I was gonna say a feat 2 doesn't sound expensive at all to like be able to bring. You're just destroying a token, but yeah, you're summoning a unit from your graveyard. Now, question is, you would have to play these units. This is kind of like a round 2 or 3 card, obviously, because you would need to have these units in your graveyard. But yeah, like the fact that he can just bring them back, kind of like Ficusia actually. But Ficusia can play pretty much anything. That's the problem. Look, he only has a cooldown of 1, so it's like if you have coins, you can just bring as many as you can. But you're probably limited to how many. You could probably like just 2, maybe max 3 if you really wanted to.
Yeah, like it's pretty crazy. Like I don't know, like Congregation alone, and with Fallen Knights and Ulrich, with as long as those guys are on the board, this guy plays for a ton of points because not only is he playing, a 13 for 12 most of the time on deploy on draw, but if you have all these cards previously, or you have even one of these cards or even 2 of these cards on the board, then it's even more because they're getting +1 for every token that's spawned. Like, I don't know, like this is definitely one of those cards. Like, okay, you need to answer this fast because this guy is going to play for a ton of value very quickly. And the fact that you can bring back any of these bronze first one units, most of the time, like I said, it's going to be Fallen Knights. Or you could even bring back like the other like spawn engines. I think there's another one that boosts up by 1 for every unit spawn this turn.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he's got Veil on himself. I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah, like this. Well, no, no, this is a bronze card. Like it's not a what's his name? He's a gold, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Or you're talking about the Fallen Knight.
No, I don't.
I think you're talking about Fallen Knight, right? Because Fallen Knight has Veil.
Okay. I don't know. And like I said, I haven't really played Fire Swan, so but
I don't
yeah,
know,
look,
like Firesworn really needed this card. That's all. I mean, really needed it is. I actually can't believe I'm saying this. But like, at one point, the best card that Firesworn had was Sacred Flame, Dice Irae, and Jacques.
mhm.
And even with all those cards alone, this deck could easily drop 120, 130 points very quickly. So like adding this guy in, you probably will have to drop one of those cards, or one of the other cards that normally would have gone in there. But yeah, this card is pretty crazy. I'd say it's definitely going to be seeing a lot of play. Firesworns is going to be revived with this card.
Nice. Shall we move on to the next card? We have Saskia. What did you think of Saskia? She's a dragon. Immunity. That was the thing that caught my eye. 4 power, 13 provision, very extensive, but she is deployed. So if you have at least 10 different primary categories in your starting deck, summon a random bronze Scoia'tael unit with a primary category that is not on your side of the battlefield from your deck to this row. At the end of your turn, lower the counter by 1. When the counter reaches 0, reset it and repeat the deploy ability. 3. So she is like a portal that you can't stop, basically.
Yes. I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't know either, because I think you'd have to. This is something you probably want to play in round 1, because like if you go down to round 3 and you don't have any cards left, like what could you be actually? I don't know, because it also has a condition where it's like primary category that is not on your side of the battlefield. So you have to have different kind of primary categories. So like I guess like elf, human, maybe dragon if it's a bronze. I don't know if there's any bronze dragons actually. Dryad, maybe even a witcher, but because her counter doesn't stop, it just resets and then you repeat it. But the thing is, it's like if you already have something like that on your board, she will be pulling out something completely different that's bronze. But yeah, I don't.
Like it has synergies with Harmony, and then it also has anti synergies with Harmony a lot because it's summoning.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about the card. It's another immunity card. That's fine. I guess if you want to play the no unit style with her, or Harmony, whatever. But I don't know how I feel about it. I guess we just have to see it in action. Right now, it doesn't look that great because 10 different primary categories in your starting deck. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot, and it would kind of mean that like the synergies that you have within like a certain archetype or maybe like a category. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is something we might have to dig a little deeper into the deck builder and see if we can make it work. But as I said, like when I was reading these paragraphs from the cards, I'm just like, there's a lot to take in, and I think I'm the kind of person that a lot of people like to theory craft, and as much as we can do that, I'm the kind of person like I have to just play it and see how it feels. So I think I'll wait till the cards drop, and then maybe we can do an update in a week's time of see how we feel about these cards.
Yeah, like I say, we have to see her in action first to see how much she really gets in terms of value. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. It's got a long text, and nobody likes to read.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Like when I saw this, I was like, "Hold on, wait!" Like when we were in the watch party and this card came out, I was like, "Holy crap!" Hold on.
Yeah, remember in the watch party when we were like, none of us just were like, what are we even reading? But
yeah,
I like that she's got immunity. I mean, it kind of means she's a little untouchable, but still, she can still be passively hit anyway. So it's not like,
like obviously, reckless flurry, crushing trap, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
This card is not going to survive.
All right, let's move on to the next card. We have, I'll just zoom out of him a little bit. We have John Covey.
Yes.
So he is a human aristocrat, 8 power. That's actually a pretty high base power, and 10 provision cost. Okay, so All right, all right. There's a lot to unpack with this card. Deploy. Sort cards in your deck from the highest to the lowest provision cost. At the start of the game, move self up by one position in the deck for each tactic in your starting deck. Okay, so he is like a maxi, right? You can
Yes.
wait, no, because maxi shows you your deck, but then you shuffle it if you want to. This one actually sorts your deck. Once you play him, he will sort your entire deck from highest to lowest, right? Provision cost.
I mean, he's technically like a maxi because you are going to be able to see, even if the deck doesn't show, like when you click on it, again, it doesn't show that, your deck's in order. You know it's in order when he comes down. So you can pretty much assume what's going to be in order. You know, I don't know how good he is because, like, he does belong in, like, the Blade deck because it is tactic. Um,
But also it says at the start of the game, so I'm assuming it's like, Rogan the Undying, like at the start, he's already, like you can see him move into the graveyard. So it says here move self up by one position in the deck for each tactic in your starting deck. So does that mean like, when the cards come out, will that, depending on how many tactics you have in your starting deck, will that show you where he is in your hand? I'm assuming that's what it means, right? Because if there's 25 cards in your deck, for each one, it would mean like randomly, if he's somewhere in your deck, he would move himself up by one for each one. Or does he start at the bottom? I see, that's where I don't. I'm a bit
yeah,
like
it doesn't
scratching my
say
head.
whether he starts at the bottom.
Okay, so let's assume he's randomly just, shuffled within deck. He could be at the bottom, he could be at the top. So depending on where he is, he will move himself up by one before your hand is even dealt. Right?
I would assume so, yes. Like I said, once again, we have to wait and see
Yeah,
how
okay.
the game lets him interact with the deck. I
Yeah.
don't know how good he is. I mean, 8 or 10 is not great. I guess if you truly are worried about consistency, he lets you put all your best stuff right on the top.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know. Like after that, he's just an 8 point guard, right?
Mm-hmm. That's all he does, really, yeah.
He lets you top deck into your best stuff, and then you're stuck with a bunch of bronzes at the end. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to be drawing all my golds in 1 and 2.
Yeah, I know.
And
And
then have
normally I
nothing but a
do.
bunch of bronzes in round two. Your opponent, like,
Yeah.
so let's just say you lose on even or whatever, or you get bled. Your
Mm-hmm.
opponent knows that they can trade up a bunch of their bronzes for your gold because they know that you're drawing into a lot of your golds.
Essentially, also, we would probably see the return of Cantarella because of this.
Yeah, I honestly could see it.
Yeah. Because,
No
like,
doubt.
as soon as this is
Okay.
deployed, your opponent's like,
Yep.
oh, sweet, I'm just going to start stealing.
Yep. I'm
So,
gonna start stealing all your cards. I'll steal your Supernova, your
or
Bradton.
even,
Yeah.
we might see the return of, he's not Alchemist anymore, but the Spotter. Maybe people start teching against it with the Spotter. Who knows?
I mean, I also could see he's also attack against Clog.
Yeah, yeah. I think definitely this would help with Clog because Clog is annoying because there's no other way to, move all those crap at the top of your deck, unless
Yeah.
you have Maxi to shuffle it. But at least this way you can fix it and top deck it, but
I feel
still.
like, yeah, if he came out like when Clog was good, or it came out like after or whatever, somewhere around that point, yes, okay, he would have been really nice. But now, I don't know.
Yeah. So this one is still like we'll see.
Yeah,
Okay. Let's move on to the next card. And I think this one's your favorite, so I think you'll be excited about this one.
I'm excited to play this card. This is basically a conflict.
Regis
Um,
of Reborn. So he's only 1 power, but he's 13 provision. Deploy. Drain an enemy unit by 3. At the end of your turn while in hand or deck, if there is an enemy unit with bleeding, increase own base power by 1. Okay, so he could, like, how they had, and we won't go into this episode, but you know how in the patch notes they've done a few nerfs to like some of the vampires, especially like Fleta, instead of vitality, he just boosts himself by the bleeding. So every time you play bleeding, right, especially if you like play Unseen Elder with this, or any of the ones that like give bleeding at the end of their turn, by round 3 this guy's gonna be thick.
yep, yep. Like if you're constantly placing a lot of bleeding, this guy is gonna be, yeah, he's gonna play for Gord now. He's a more expensive Gord, yes. vampires, but like it's
But the thing
what's
with
really
you,
nice.
you know
What's
what's
really nice. It's base power plus the
yeah.
drain.
No, I was gonna say it's okay. You need to explain what drain means to me because I've never come across this. But what I was gonna say was with God, he's boosted. So if you don't get last save, he can just be in a reset. You can't really reset Regis because it's not a
Yeah,
boost.
that's what's good about this.
So yeah, what does drain
It's
mean in compared to a damage?
the drain is basically like stealing their power and adding it to yours.
Is it a boost or
That
is
makes
it base power?
it's like a boost.
Okay.
Um, yeah, like it's kind of hard to explain. Like you have to see it in action. Like
Okay.
basically, let's say you have a 7 point card, okay, and Regis is coming down, as a 4 for 13 right away. If you're not counting the deploy value or the base value increase. Um, so he's basically taking a 3 and you're losing a 3. So it's like 7 really, 7 for 13 on the point.
Nice. Well, it looks like Vampires is going to get the support this season, so I think a lot of people will be in their deck builder tonight, making some vampire decks, including you.
Yes, yeah. I already have one made for him. He's
Oh,
ready.
amazing.
He's
Yeah, I
ready to
haven't done
go.
any of that. I'm going to have to maybe make some today before
My,
the
my
cards
theory
drop.
craft.
Yeah.
My theory craft is he's Kelly's just a placeholder for this guy.
He's what, sorry?
I think Kelly is just a placeholder for him.
Yeah, okay. Nice. Well, not long till now we can play these cards. Next card is King of Beggars. So he's a 4 power, 10 provision cost. Blind Eyes, Human, fee 1, boost self by 1. While in the deck, whenever you pay a tribute, remove a counter for each coin paid. For each removed counter, gain 1 coin back. When counter reaches 0, summon self from deck to a random allied row. Counter 9. Okay, so it's another kind of thinning like Saris was.
Yeah, deck thinning. It's basically, like I said, another Roach. um, or another Hubert, however you want to justify it. I don't know. This guy's nutty. For Syndicate, like Syndicate has 2 very good cards coming for different archetypes, but King of Beggars, I think this guy is going to be really good in like an off the books tribute deck. Um,
Does that
so like
I'm trying to understand his ability. So does that actually mean when you pay a coin for like a tribute or something, right? Like say if it costs 3, remove a counter for each. So that means you would remove 3 from the counter and then you gain 3 coins back, but then that means you don't pay anything. Is that right?
yeah, you're not paying anything for tributes.
So it's free.
It's free. Yeah. So this guy with Savola, nuts because Savola's 6 plus 12 base power. That's 18 plus him. That's 23 or 22, and then he's a spender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he can boost up by 1.
And
yeah.
you're getting the 9 coins
This guy's
back. So
actually
basically,
he's crazy.
he's like a 30 point. He's like a 30 point card. It's
insane.
so dumb.
Yeah, this guy's insane.
Yeah, like I mean, even if not with Savola, like okay with Professor,
Mm.
that's still really good. You know, Professor, you got who else? Graydon, Maurice, like all these cards that require tributes.
Will it be
Like
free?
you don't even need to run. Yeah, it will be free. You don't even need to run Madame Louise. Right? Who cares about her?
It means that you would kind of maybe get like 2 tributes for free, 2 or 3 tributes for free, depending how much the tribute actually costs. Because then once he comes out, I'm assuming like you've already got the coins, so you just go and boost him, right?
Yeah, like I said, he's very insane. Like I'm gonna use him with Savola, like in a short round 3 or something. That's exactly how I'm gonna use him. I'm gonna hopefully keep him in the deck. And what's also really nice too, I didn't even mention this. It has synergies with Boat.
Mm-hmm.
So like you got him plus Savola, that's 22, plus Boat, that's another 3, that's 25, plus his ability to refill your bank.
Mm.
Like This guy's nuts. Like, he's at least 30+ points with Savola.
I actually couldn't like when I saw this card, I was like, I couldn't believe they actually didn't have a King of Beggars card for like this entire time because he's such a integral part of the game, especially in Witcher 3.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he's a leader in the game, right, Gwent,
Yeah,
but he's not. He doesn't have a card. And like I said,
yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
nice. Well, looks like this is probably one of
Actually,
the, I'd say, busted
hold on.
cards.
Actually, he may actually have a card in the game. He just made it. I think it was known as something else.
Oh, okay. I don't play much Syndicate, so maybe I've just overlooked it. But I couldn't remember
Yeah.
he does
He
have
he does have a. Yeah, it's Francis Bedlam. That's what he goes by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except in that one, it's every allied turn on turn in boost the lowest unit in your hand by 1. So definitely, and
Well,
that's an 8 provision card.
this is kind of like an upgrade.
Yeah, this is a major upgrade. 2 provisions more, and he's playing for a whole lot more points than just being a really crappy hand buff.
Nice. Well, let's move on to the next card, which we have Ruckus Queen. She is an insect. I'm gonna say she because it's a queen, but it's an insectoid. 6 power, 10 provision cost. Deploy, consume an allied unit. If it's an insectoid, spawn and play a Ruckus nest. Deathwish, spawn a base copy of the consumed unit in this row. So basically, she can consume any allied. Wait. Now that I read this, she. wait. Consume an allied unit. So that means any unit, right?
Any unit.
I'm already thinking I want to play like if this is like a full Death Wish list, maybe like a second Detloff.
Yep.
Higher Vampire, spawn a base copy of the consume unit in this row. Yeah, but you'd have to have like things that would let you do the Death Wish, which is not difficult, I guess, if you especially have to use scenario with this. Because it lets you, it plays it like for free, basically, right? You also have the option of like, you know, if it's an insectoid as well, spawning and playing Arrakis Nest. I don't know exactly what Arrakis Nest is. Do you know?
It just spawns 4 tokens, 4 Endriga token, or not Endriga tokens, but Arrakis tokens.
Okay.
If you're playing it with AQ leader, then it's an extra token, so it's like a 5 for 4.
Okay.
Which has a lot of synergy with the swarm payoff. But this card is nuts. Being able to play a second Detloff. Second Mumuna now, great. If you want to beat one Mumuna and then pull out something else from your deck,
yeah.
Ruheen. It's got Ruheen synergy with it. Succubus, Maruna, Mana Core, like all these Deathwish, high payoff Deathwish cards could have, come back again. That's what's scary about this. I don't know how good it would be with with vampires. I don't think it's good with vampires at all. Yeah, there really is no vampires that you really want. Or you wouldn't want to play this in a full-on vampire deck besides, with that higher vampire.
Yeah, I think so. That's the only one I could. Yeah, that was the one I initially thought of when I saw this.
Insectoid wise, I don't know how much you'd want to eat for an insect. Because it is spawning, it's not deploying it again. You don't want to eat this with it. You don't want to eat Ygern with this for sure, because Ygern can't survive without armor on the board.
Yeah.
No, I
think it would just die straight away. Like you actually have to.
Yeah, it would die straight away.
You have to, make sure it's a deploy because it just this one just spawns it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about this card. This is a nutty card. Just to be able to play, the kind of cards that we normally would not be able to play anymore with Caranthier. This is like a better Caranthier almost.
Yeah, and flexible too, because as you said, you can do it with Swarm.
And Caranthier's got the nerf that he did get, where now we're not seeing double movement or whatever.
Double gurney.
It's
still recovering from that.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about this card. It's gonna be scary.
I think a lot of these cards are scary though.
Yeah. This card is gonna give people nightmares,
Definitely. Well, that's why she's
especially
a
for Death
Ruckus
Wish
Queen.
players. Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next card, which is the Northern Realms card. This is the one I was most excited about. I don't know, I like Northern Realms a lot. It's King Hensel. He's a human and a soldier. 3 power, 1 armor, 13 provision cost. Deploy, play a crew unit from your deck whenever an adjacent unit's cooldown decreases, boosts off by the same amount. He is an engine and also a tutor. So he basically can
Yep.
do, the first one I thought it was a Rafat. Because
Yep.
obviously
You
Rafat is
can
getting a
pull out
nerf.
cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Rafat can't be put out with AA anymore, but this guy was the replacement for it. But also not even just that, because Rafat is cooldown as well. He will boost himself, and like say if you're gonna play Siege with this and play a whole bunch of, ballistas that have cooldown as well. Can you imagine like how much this guy would actually boost himself?
Yeah, like I mean, as long as you, I mean, he's only gaining 2 points a turn off these cooldowns for sure. Like he's only a 2 point engine, so we have to recognize that. Um,
Why would you say he's
unless
only 2 points though?
because it's adjacent units.
Oh yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
So
he's
it's
a
like
2 point engine per turn.
it's
But
nearly like Bloody
tutor.
Mistress. You know how she had like the two. If you had the 2 fruits.
I mean, I would say it's more like a greedier version of Anna Stringer. You know how Anna has to be boosted, and then she boosts the adjacent units by 1 each. This is the same thing, except now they're getting the boost.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, just the fact that he's a tutor, like that's nuts, and he can pull out 10 provision cards. So like we already know how good Raphard's Vengeance is. It's only getting 1 provision nerf. It's going up to a 10 provision card. So I don't know how you fit AA, Raphard's, all that.
With King
Each like
Hensel
it's
and Siege, yeah.
okay against
I think
yeah.
that there
I
needs to be
don't
some theory crafting done to see
yeah.
if this can be played. But the thing is, if you play Inspired Zeal, so you could like potentially like go Hensel into Rafad into like a bronze unit that will
Yeah.
go
That's a lot of
adjacent to
points.
him, and then you draw a card. So that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of points, yeah. I won't deny that at all.
But I do like him. I'm super excited to play this guy.
Yeah. I think he's good. He's very good. Maybe like well, he's very good, but he's very expensive because AA is 13, um, Siege is 14. Raffard's is now 10. Like that's right there alone. That's you know 37 provisions and 3 cards.
It's
Like that's a
insane.
lot.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
cards are insane
And then now
actually.
him on top. Like now him on top. Like that's that's almost like 50, 60 provisions just dedicated to 4 cards. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to run a lot of bronzes.
The tricky
In
thing
these
is, yeah,
decks.
the tricky thing is though, you'd like if you don't draw him at all, or you don't have any
Yeah.
crew units from your deck, it kind of bricks it. But
Yeah, I
again,
don't know how good he'll be in Inspired Zeal because you do have to draw him. The last thing I mean, we already know how bad Northern Realms is when it comes to consistency.
yeah, exactly.
So like the worst feeling would be you miss AA, you miss Natalis, you miss this guy,
Yeah.
and you miss your Raffard. Like that's a lot of brick
Yeah,
potential in terms
potentially
of
you might
points.
have to actually just play Curse Scroll if you are like, if you are on Blue Coin. But then again, if you're not on Blue Coin, it's like, because I played the Commandos Siege list a couple of seasons back, and the consistency was a little bit of an issue. Like if you just didn't draw Siege, it was game over. And it was okay on Blue Coin because at least if your hand wasn't good, you could fix it somehow. But if you're in red coin and you're relying on only on AA, which you don't always draw as well, so we'll have to wait and see like how we go with consistency on this one. But still, I'm excited to play him.
Yeah, like I said, I think stockpile and maybe Inspired Zeal are going to be pretty crazy with him.
Yeah,
We'll just have to wait and see. I honestly see like Siege and Stockpile probably more with him. But yeah, like this card is crazy. It's another tutor that AA is already doing a great job at. and this time it just adds points on top of it, or it turns it base power at least, or a unit.
Nice. Let's move on to the next card, which is she was the one that was Milva was the reveal art that, you know, the pieces of the art that they dropped over time. But this is giving me, okay, I'll read it out and you tell me what this reminds you of. So she's 2 power, 11 provision cost. She's a human, Zeal Aura, damage an enemy unit by 2, Death Blow. Shuffle back to your deck whenever you move an enemy unit, summon yourself from your deck to the opposite row, then damage it by 1. So she's kind of like a matter, but doesn't go in your graveyard, so she can't be answered with like graveyard hate, you know, no squirrel, no lemons, because she goes back to your deck instead of, you know, going in the graveyard.
Yeah.
But like once she's in your graveyard, you can't play her anymore.
Exactly. Yeah,
So-
she's definitely not going back. Well, she technically could,
How?
because if you're setting up the death blow, she's always shuffling herself back.
Yeah, but I'm
as
saying
long as you set up the death blow.
yeah, but you have to set it up. Like if you play her, like if you put her on the board and you damage a unit by 2, like if you don't get death blow, all you're gonna get is 4 points, really, and that's it. And so that's it. This is like an expensive 4 points.
Yeah.
But you have to get the death blow to shuffle her back. So and then
Yeah,
whenever you
yeah.
move an enemy unit, she will summon self from your deck to the opposite row and then damage it by 1. So how does she go back to your deck? She has to. So she has to go back. For her to go back to your deck, if you move the enemy unit, they got to be like on one point. Because if it's death blow, she goes back.
Yeah. So like they have to be 1 or 2 base power for you to set it up properly. But even if the card is above that, what's scary with her is with Guerrilla Tactics, it makes Guerrilla Tactics a 5-point damage charge per turn, or for each charge. Because you get 2 damage if you're moving an enemy unit. Plus her, she's gonna summon. She's gonna come out, so that's another 2.
Yeah.
As long as you're playing it with Guerrilla Tactics, she's very scary.
Yeah, but so like say yes, but the enemy unit always has to be 1 for her to go back into it, because if you just hit it by 1, she just stays on the board and then she ends up in your graveyard at the end of your turn. At the end of the round, and then she won't be coming out ever again for the rest of the game. So you have to line it up in a sense that there's always going to be death blow.
I think no unit has no problem with that, especially if they run.
I think this is a no unit kind of card for sure.
Yeah. This is
She's
definitely a card that's not going to be staying on the board.
She's
going to
like,
be constantly disappearing.
Yeah, so she's kind of like Precision Strike, but on a card, right?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Precision Strike that can renew or refresh itself every time.
Yeah, but you have to line it up, like for sure, and you got to get it right.
What's crazy is like when she comes back out, she can do it again. Like she comes back out. If let's say you move, and she shuffles back, she's gonna come back out and do the 2 damage, or you can do the 2 damage again because she has Zeal.
Wait, I'm trying to think, because
like, okay, so like let's just say you have last
so she actually has 3 damage. So yeah, you're right, because if she comes out, she'll damage it by 1, and then she will stay on the board, but you got to click again for 2, and then it has to have death blow for her to go back.
Yep.
Okay. So
technically, like I said, she's playing 5 points every time she comes out, right?
Yeah.
With Guerrilla Tactics, it's technically 7, so she's like playing for 9 points every time.
Yeah.
Because they're taking 2 damage plus her 3. Well, I mean, okay, so it's yeah.
I mean, so she's 2. Yeah, she's 2, but she goes back. She goes back.
Yeah, it's a lot of points that goes back, and like if you were to do that consistently, back and forth,
yeah,
that's a lot of points in one turn that you can do.
Yeah, I think this is good for no unit, as you mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, doing the math now, I'm tired, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's 2 plus so it's 2 plus 2, that's 4 from leader. Plus or 3, that's 7. And then I guess if you want to factor in the carryover, it's 9.
Okay, you lost me there, but I'm gonna believe you.
Okay, well, because she's going back into your deck.
Yeah.
If you want to bring her back out later.
Yeah.
But you don't ever want to draw into her. This is not a card you want to
Yeah. You mean I guess you would want to draw into her for the first instance, but not.
Like, she's definitely a card you're gonna mulligan back if you do draw her.
How? Because you need to get the death blow for. Like, how would she come
Well,
out?
I mean,
Oh,
like,
whenever you move an enemy unit. But then she only down. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, because it's a movement kind of thing. Yep, got you.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's Milva for you, sharpshooter.
I guess they weren't kidding when she's like she's gonna bring down a rain of the groups.
King Bran, human warrior. He's 5 power, 11 provision cost. He's a veteran. So veteran means he starts off as 5 and he'll end up as a 7 by round 3, right?
Yes, I would assume so. Yes, because I don't think he's at 3 power like Skordor or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he goes up to 5. I think he starts off at a 5.
Deploy.
It would only make sense.
Deploy. Boost self by 0. Increase the value by 1 whenever excess damage is dealt to enemy units. So when they say excess, it's like overkill, right?
Yes.
Okay, at the start of the game, trigger the veteran ability of your units. So that means everyone just goes up to a 7. Or whatever their veteran they start at. They'll just...
Right.
Yeah.
So...
Wait, does that mean they get like an extra veteran? Like, so they'll get... At the start of the game, they'll just go... if they started at 3...
Yeah, if they start off at a 3, then Skirtle goes up to a 4.
Yeah, and then at the end there'll be a 6.
Herald goes up to stage 2 in round 1. Like, this guy advances the veteran ability quickly.
Does it advance it, or does he just give them like an extra point?
I think he just gives them the extra point. Because Herald doesn't change in base power. Skirtle does. Turgvi does. Who else? Who else has veteran? The Kursak Invaders. How many other cards have veterans I can think of? The Ankh Raiders. Like, there's a lot of these cards that have really good value. Just because some of these cards, are most of the time going to be coming out through revival from Herald or whatever. So like this just speeds it up nicely.
Yep.
It gives you. I would think you would want to play this guy. Probably with Herald in round 3. Just because he does, have that boost effect. I don't know, like, how much boost he's gonna play for, because I mean, it's only increasing the value by 1 when princess damage is dealt.
Yeah. I don't know about that either. Like,
yeah, I don't know how often you're gonna get that payoff.
And like normally people, play to get the maximum value of damage they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Not often am I gonna use like a 4P removal card on like a 2.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's only gonna boost by 1.
Or a Giga Scorpion on like a 4-point unit, unless it's an engine.
Like normally if you're gonna play a 6, you put on a 6,
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know.
I don't know about this.
How good this will be. Yeah. I don't know about that effect, but I like the veteran effect.
Yeah, so do I.
So yeah, I think he'll get his value in terms of that. Like, maybe if you want to add on the points of triggering all the veteran abilities all at once, in that a sense, and then you tack it onto his power like that. Because he is going to go to a 7, theoretically, if this isn't his stage 3 form. So yeah, like, I guess if you add on that value, then yeah, he plays for a lot of points. As for the boost effect, I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see
how much value you can really get with that, yeah.
Let's move on to the next card, which is Adol Dahi. I could be pronouncing that wrong. 7 power, 12 provision cost. You can see him scheming there with the little pawns. Deploy unranged. So if neither player has passed and your opponent's hand is not full, move a non-doomed enemy unit with power up to the number of tactics in your starting deck, and I'll tell you how many, to your opponent's hand, then draw a card.
Guy's terrible.
Wait. So move a non-doomed enemy unit with power. So you would have to be you have to calculate how many power you have, judging by the number of tactics.
Yeah. So basically, he's going to say, "All right, I'm going to come down. And if you haven't passed or your hand is not full, I'm going to kick your unit back as like a reset, up to however many tactics are in your deck, and then I get to draw a card. That's it. It's just a very expensive reset.
Move a non with power up to the number in your starting deck to your opponents. I think that the wording's a bit confusing here. I need to read this really slowly. Move a non-doomed enemy unit with power. Let's say it's a 5, okay? Up to the number of tactics in your starting deck to your opponent's hand. So you're gonna put back something that's on the board back to their hand. Yep. You're just resetting it.
Yeah.
Then draw a card.
That's it. Like I say, he's a very expensive reset. He's not that great. Like, he sounds like he's good, but he's not.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think we have to see it in play, I guess, because is it the base power or is it the power that they currently have? So it's say if it's a boosted.
It's the power, however many tactics are in your deck.
Yeah,
so
but then it's why would you want to put it back to their hand?
Exactly. Like if you only have I don't know 4 tactics in your starting deck, you're only able to send back a 4-point unit.
But normally you would play maybe an slave list with this, and then you would have at least 5, hopefully. But even then, I'm just trying to think in what instance would you want to just give them a card to replay again, so you can draw a card.
Imagine giving them back
because he synergizes with the other guy, Jan. Is it Jan?
Yeah. Like you could send something back to their hand, and then you get to draw whatever your card is on the top of your deck.
Yeah, because Jan sorts it out by provision cost.
Yeah, he synergizes with that, but how good are you gonna earn? How often? Okay, so think about it. We know Terra Nova is going up to 12. Brathens is going up to 11. Jean is 10. Ardal's 12. Where are you gonna have the room to play this?
Yeah. Or what about Illusionist? Imperial Practitioner. Sorry, not Illusionist. Maybe if you put some. I don't know. I feel like this is too. For me, it's I don't. It's too complicated. But I'm sure someone out there will be able to make this work, and then and you will be oh, it's actually really good.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think we saved the best for last. The hype man himself.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Okay, this one. This is the one I really want to talk about. So,
Daddy Redden.
Yeah. What is his first? I call him Daddy Reddy.
Yeah, Daddy Reddy. Yep.
6 power, 10 provision cost. Well, he kind of looks like a daddy with Philippa there, right? With she's all chained up and stuff. So I think that's where he got the reference from. He's a human and a soldier. Deploy. If the base version of your leader ability has more than 1 charge, given an additional charge, or to repeat the deploy ability. I feel like this card's broken.
Oh, very much so. Especially
it's only 10 provision. 6
especially
power.
After Molesian confirmed it on Twitter. What this card can do is insane. This is the best card out of all of them that come out. So yeah, and not only is your base version of your leader getting an additional charge, if it's a multiple charge leader, but then it's also repeating it again.
Yeah.
And so what Legion confirmed is once he refreshes that leader charge, he's reactivating your leader. So with Uprising, he's giving you another Uprising charge.
So, but you have to only
because
have...
the last
You have to have 2 left
Yeah.
though. So Uprising's 3, right? So that means if you're on 2, you play this again, and then you would have to.
Nope.
Oh wait, you can have 3, and then it gives you like 4.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you're repeating the ability again. So like the only charge you care about with Uprising is the last charge because it spawns the Scytheman, right? However many boosted units are how much Scytheman's worth. This guy refreshes that again and lets you spawn another
Yeah, this guy's
Scytheman.
like a Damien, but like.
Yeah, he's a Damien on crack.
Yeah, he's so good. Yeah, I think this
He's
is.
too good.
Yeah, he's really. Like, you can play this with Zeal. I mean, you wouldn't want another one, but the main one we're thinking of is like. Like, you couldn't get 2 Scythemans. That's the thing. Like, with Uprising, obviously you get the Scytheman at the end. So, because it says if it has more than 1 charge, you have another additional. So, I don't think you would get an extra Scytheman.
You would.
No, you won't, because it says if the base version of your leader ability has more than 1 charge, then you can get an additional charge. If it's at 0, you don't get another one.
Base version.
Yeah.
Yeah, your base version
But it
is
says
not
more
counting the
than
fact
1
that
charge. So, like, you can't have 0 and then give him another one.
yeah, you can.
You
That's
can't.
what
It
Allegiance
just,
said.
it literally.
That's what Allegiance said.
Then that's,
He
yeah,
said
I don't know about that, because.
Yeah, he said if he said it's Uprising, and if you have 1 charge left, it'll go back up to 2.
Yeah, if you have 1 charge, I'm saying, but with Uprising, the only way you can get a Scytheman is like after you use all 3 of it, then you get the Scytheman. So once you use all 3, this card won't work because you need at least
Yes, it
1
will.
left. I
No,
don't.
no, 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 no.
I
He's
don't think.
refreshing that.
Look.
Okay,
We'll
look.
have to wait till tonight. I really
No, I
honestly.
promise you. he
No.
works that way.
Yeah, I don't know about
Legion
that.
is one of the game developers. He said if you use all the charges up and you use it again because it's considering your base version of your leader, not how many of your current leaders left.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving it 1 additional charge. So because, like I said, with the Uprising, it's always going to you're only going to care about the last charge.
Are you saying like because it's got more than 1 charge? Like it's got 3
Yes.
of it. Okay, this card's
Yes,
broken though. Then.
Yes.
Because then that means
It's
you would just
very
get
broken.
like another Scytheman.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
And then,
Legion confirmed it. Like it's gonna refresh your leader again.
So you want to like boost a lot of units with this. Okay, let's just play Yidden, guys.
Yeah, you're right. There you go. You heard it from your.
Yeah, it's just I think this one's the most broken out of all of them, to be honest. Like 10 provision as well.
Yes.
It's like, come on, Ratty Daddy.
So yeah, Ratty Daddy, King Radovid. Was it Radovid Africa? There's so many names for this man's. Yeah, like this is what Damien wishes he could be.
So now that we've done all 12, what's your favorite?
I mean, my favorite, you already know this, it's gonna be Regis, but this guy is the most powerful for sure.
I think
Being able to refresh a leader, and play it again, scary. I mean, like all the cards are good. We know that most of the cards are good. I'm not saying all the cards are good because we know John and Ardor are just weird.
Yeah.
But most of these cards coming out are going to be very good, if not busted. So it's going to be a long, 5 months, basically, of us with these cards.
Yeah.
Because they've already said in the roadmap we're not getting any new cards until
April. Yep.
Of next year. So yeah, this is going to be a long 5 months for the community. So don't worry. I guess we're all going to mold and pull our hair out.
I guess we're all playing Yidden.
Those 5 months. Yeah, it's going to be a very stale meta if these cards are allowed to exist in their current forms the entire time. I doubt it, but I don't know. This card may be one of the most busted cards I've seen in a while because the fact that this guy is in Northern Realms and Northern Realms is pretty much has everything you could ever want in a deck. The only thing it doesn't have is a Purify. Like I don't I think we're gonna see more Northern Realms on the ladder
Oh
than
yeah,
ever.
for sure. Yeah, I think my favorite would probably be, I like King Hensel, but like out of being broken, it's just probably this one for sure. I think we left the good
Yeah,
one, the best one for last.
yeah, we did. We definitely did. This premium is probably gonna be really cool. I don't know
Can't wait.
what's being implied. I'm sure he's probably gonna burn Philippa with that knife.
Didn't he take her? He's in the other one that burned her eyes out.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so I think that's what he's about to do. Scary stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on this episode. We can't wait to play the new cards. Obviously, Ezra, so you've already done your theory crafting. Your decks are all ready to go for, I guess it's for tomorrow for you. So probably next episode we will most likely be talking about the cards and how we have felt they've been doing on the ladder, and I guess you know, did it live up to our expectations and the hype? So if you did like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you know when we drop another one. But until next time, we'll see you guys around.